la máquina inicial.
Hola. ¿Se escucha la voz?
¿Cómo va?
Ah, ahí va, ahí va. Está ahí, sí,
¿Escuchás?
ahí.
Y sí, se escucha.
Se escucha. Vale, buenísimo.
A ver,
Hola, ¿cómo va?
Buenas.
¿cómo va? No sé si se va a joinear alguien que no hable español.
Bueno, Emiliano, si sube gente que no es de Argentina, yo diría que la hagamos en inglés.
Sí, creo que la voy a hacer en inglés también,
Mejor, sí.
porque después la vamos a subir a YouTube también.
Claro, se sube a YouTube.
Sí, bueno, la preparé en inglés, así que.
Genial, mejor.
Bueno, cuando vos digas Fabricio,
Y ya son las 3, yo diría que arranquemos.
vamos a esperar 2 minutos. No sé.
Dale, dale, dale.
Ahí se están joineando algunos. Sí, 2 minutos, sí. O 1 minuto. Bueno, arranco nomás. Bueno, welcome to Redux MVC, the power of composition. Redux MVC is a framework that I developed while working at Lend, one of White Prompt's clients, and I did with React and Redux. So first, a bit of format of the talk. The talk has 2 parts. The first one is an apply part, where I'll be explaining the architecture, and I will go through some coding examples. And the second one is a bit theoretical, where I'll talk about why and how I did Redux MVC and why and how I do architecture. So the first part, code examples. I prepared 3 code examples. The to list the autocomplete, an example consuming the news API. I will go through each of one, and at the end of it, I'll try to check these boxes that are the features of Redux MVC. But first, let's check the architecture diagram of Redux MVC. So it's an MVC framework, so a classic MVC diagram. We have the view that it's done with React that dispatches user events to an event bus and consumes the state from the model. Then we have the model that it's observing the event bus and computes the next state. This is done with Redux. Then we have the controller that it's also observing the event bus, and it can dispatch events also, and it consumes the state from the model, and it's also the one responsible for doing I/O. So that's basically the diagram. So now let's go to the first example. The first example is a to-do list. In this case, it's a to-do list of groceries. I can add the groceries to it, like orange, apple, banana, water, and I can toggle the to-dos. And I can, for now, I can also delete, remove the to-dos that are completed. And what we'll do in this example is implement this filter. We will implement it as a module. But first, let's see how this to-do list is done. I mean, let's see the architecture components. Let's see the view and the model and the controller. So let's start with the view. This is the view of the to-do list module. We have the title, we have the input, we have the actual to-dos. This here, the radio filter, is the module that I want to implement, this part. And finally, we have the state of the to-dos completed and the delete action. As we saw in the architecture diagram, the view is consuming states from the model, and then it can fire actions to the event path. So now let's go to the module file. I think I'll divide the screen and also show, show the view also. So the model, as I told you, is basically Redux with some sugar on top of it that allows me to create these helper functions that later would be used in the view. So for example, if I want to consume this state, like the completed IDs, in the view, I do getters.completed IDs, and then this state will be injected to the view. The same way, if I want to fire the clear completed action from the view, I do action.clear completed, and I inject that function in the view that will be fired when the user clicks the delete button. That is the model. In this case, I don't have a controller because in my architecture, the controllers model complex time interactions, or they sync another module. So for this to-do list, a controller is not needed. Now, let's go to implement the filter, the module filter. I don't know if you remember, but it was rendered in the to-do list view, the radio filter. So let's see where I am taking that from. And it's from the UIKit filters view. So the UIKit is where I put the modules that are reusable to all of the applications. So that's one of the main points of Redux MVC, build reusable modules. So we are going to do that. This is I have some of the files prepared already, like the view, but I don't know if you can see that it's not already connected to the model, and of course it's not is not working. It's not doing anything. So what we'll do is we'll implement the model, and later we will connect the view. And after that, we will do the last step, that is connecting this filters module to the to-do list. So the to-do list can consume it and modify the to-dos that are displayed. So first, let's go to the model. This is a very simple example. So all we need to track is a selected filter ID. So I would do that very quickly. As I told you, this is Redux, so I'm sure that some of you are familiar with it. I'll create a selected filter property. That would be the ID of the filter. And that would be it for now, because as I told you, I have the sugar on top of Redux that is creating the actions and getters for me. So now I can come back to the view and connect that piece of data, and also connect the actions to allow the filter to dispatch it. So I create a decorator. The first parameter of connect is the state that will be injected, in this case, selected filter. I will use the helper function. And the second parameter of connect would be the action. In this case, set selected filter. So that's it for connecting the filter. Now I need to decorate the component. This is mostly Redux. There's no novelty in here. I have a bug in some place, so let's see what's happening. Action set selected filter from the model. Sorry, from the model. This is the live coding issues. Current read property ID of undefined. Getter actions. Give me a moment. I don't know why it's failing so quickly. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Now is a good time while I try to fix this.
Gonzalo, don't you have to put stage and return the getters with stage?
No, this is a new API of Redux MVC. So that's Alex talking. Oh yeah, here is the bug. Selected filter. Let's see if it works. Yeah, now it's working. So, well, it's not blowing up, but still not working. Why? Because this is a separated module from the to-do list. Now, what I need to do is plug this reusable module of the UI kit into the to-do list and consume it from there. So I go back to the to-do list. And I didn't show you this file before. but this is the module file. Is the place where the wiring of different modules happen. So in well, I did already connect it, but I wanted to show you how it's done. So basically, this is the part that connects the filter model. So with this tool of Redux MVC, I can merge different modules in and then use the state from them. So let's check that the state is available to the module. We can do that with Redux DevTools. And if we go to the UI to-do list, and we see the state. Yeah, we have the UI to-do list. That would be the state of the to-do list module. But we also have one more namespace that in this case is a filter module. And that it's in the same context. So now that it's in the same context, I can consume it from the to-do list to filter completed and pending to-dos. So if I add some more, I don't know why, and I'll filter them. Well, it is firing the actions to the right context, but it's not filtering. That's why I'm not consuming the state of the filter. And in order to consume it, I just need to get the state. Well, that's done in the selectors. In the selectors, I'm filtering the to-do IDs. So what I need to do is to pass this state so the filter can work. So I'll grab the state from the filters module. Yeah, getters. From the right module, UIKit filters. Actually from the model, because this is state. And I'll put it in here. Filter dot selected filter. Yeah. And now let's see if it works. One, I don't know, purple. I toggle, and I see, yeah, now it's working. Okay. So, do you have questions about this example, guys?
I see that you are using Lambda, but
Yeah.
it's not a dependency on Redux MVC, right? You
No.
can use any other library.
Yeah, this is not a dependency of Redux MVC.
Okay.
But yeah, I like to use Lambda a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. And let's see if we can toggle some features. So what I did, yeah, I derive state. Like in here, I am mixing state from two separated modules with selectors. So yeah, I think this is one of the features that I use. Where else? Atomic components that work together? No. I did modules. So modules for composition and reusability. And Yeah, I think I won't have time to show you all these features, but let's go back to the example. Now, what I wanted to show you is one of the most important features along with reusing modules is the ability to create instances of the modules. So if I go to where I'm rendering the to-do list, that is the to-do list page. So yeah, this is the to-do list I'm rendering. What I do is I duplicate this list, and I don't know, I will name it shopping. So now I have, it seems that I have two separated lists, but if I interact with them, like I mean, these two views are plugged to the same state. So, and maybe we don't want that. We want independent state. So that's one of the features of Redux MVC, and it is instances. So if I pass a different instance ID to the module, I don't know, groceries, and ID shopping, now I hope I have two different instances, two different independent instances. Yeah, I don't know, water. The same here, I don't know, what can I buy? Cell phone. And how it's done with that's done, as I told you, with namespaces and instances. If we inspect the state, you will see that now we have the instances in there. But previously we were using the default instance, and that's why the state was duplicated among the two views. And now we have two more instances that are groceries and shopping. And this is handled transparently by Redux MVC. And I think it's a pretty big feature for reusability. So let's
Sorry,
go.
one question.
Yeah.
I didn't get, you're having 3 instances. You are always having the default instance.
Yeah, the default instance will be targeted if we don't pass a specific instance ID to the component. So now the groceries will be working with the default instance. So go. Yep. So that's orange. Yep.
Okay.
Any other question in there?
No.
Great. Okay, so that's it with this first example. I think we can toggle instances. Now I'll show you how do I work with a controller. In fact, we will be writing the controller of this autocomplete. The autocomplete is also a module, a reusable module that is in the UI kit. And what we'll do in this case, as it's an autocomplete, I want to observe in this case, search events Maybe I can show it in here. What the view is firing in this case. So if I go to the autocomplete, yeah, I don't know, search. Yeah, the UI is firing an autocomplete search action, right? So what I want to do in the controller, I want to debounce the input. So I don't do a request each time I hit a key. So as I told you, the controller in my architecture will be handling complex time interactions like the debounce in this case. And it also can work to sync modules that you want to use. But in this case, let's do it for this debounce recipe from Sagas. So yeah, which I mean what there. So yeah, we need to observe the, instead of input change, we need to observe the the search action, as I showed you. Actions. A typo in there. And where else? I think that's it. So no, there was one more thing in the recipe. Yeah, that this will do the actual debounce. So yeah, let's see if it's working now. No, it's not working. Why it's not working? I'm having some, yeah, payload of undefined. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember now. So yeah, I copied and pasted the recipe from the Sagas, but this is wrong. I need to pass the action payload. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, it's working. So as you see in this controller, that is the autocomplete controller, the only thing that I'm doing is I am debouncing the search. But then I am firing a search request action, and that should be handled by the consumer of this module. In this case, the consumer of this module would be the autocomplete page. If we go to the Saga, you will see that it's observing a watch request, search request, and it's forking an IO call. In this case, I am mocking the call. And also, this little worker is watching for new search requests and canceling the previous tasks, as an autocomplete should do. So I think that's it for this second example. Let's see what features we can check. I think it's time modeling, models, complex time interactions for now. And where I think that's it. Well, another thing to notice is that from this, from the autocomplete page, as the state is global, I can access the autocomplete state, right? And use it maybe as a parameter of a request. Yeah, I think that's it for this example. And I have a third example that maybe I can, if I can do it quickly. I don't know, guys, if you have questions about this second example. No questions? Okay. So the third example, it's again something that we already see. The composing, like creating new views out of reusable modules. So in this example, I wanted to consume the news API. I don't know if you've heard of it. Basically, it fetched some news in JSON format. So, but yeah, what I would do is I try to reuse the autocomplete and the radio filter to consume the news API. Let's see if I can do it quickly because I don't want to take a lot of time on this. So I go to the news page, to the view, and yeah, headline search. It says headline search. I will replace that for the autocomplete. I want to render the view. So let's start with that. Let's see if it works. Headline search, yeah. I think I think I can pass the name of it. Was name or title? I don't remember. Title text. Let's see if that works. Yeah, perfect. And in the results, I'm not going to do anything. I just want to test if the autocomplete works with the news API and also the filter. So I will grab the radio filter. This one has name. Let's see if that works. But I need to pass the possible filters. In this case, would be categories. Equal, and I think I'm going to grab that from the state. I have a selector for that. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see if that works. filters. Perfect. I have some categories to filter. And now what I want to do is I want to plug the autocomplete module and the filter module to this news page. So I'm going to grab those two modules. The UI kit. And the filter here. This is a way of creating a module out of tiny modules or adding new functionality. Merge. And I think this is another big feature of Redux MVC because it allows you to reuse actual code. So the filter. And right. Yeah, let's see if we have the state from the autocomplete and the state from the filters in the context. Yes. We go. There's an error. Let's see. No error now. But I'm not seeing this page context. Maybe because I forgot something. I think why. I think I know why. Yeah, because I forgot to instantiate this module that I'm creating. So once you created your own module, you need to put it in context of your view, right? And that's done with create context. So create the context. I will pass the module to the context. I will also connect this. This will work for these two purposes. And the module that I want to connect is the one that I just created. Let's see that it's in the news page module. Yeah, yeah, I have a more. Do I have more? Maybe yes. Let's see now if I have that. Yeah, now I have a new context. And let's see if I have filters on autocomplete. Perfect. So, and the last step will be trying to consume the actions that come from the autocomplete and the filters. I already coded this one because I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this, but as you can see, I am already observing the search request that it's already bound. And when I get a search request, I call this little search news saga that it's going to read the text of the autocomplete using the helper functions, and it's also going to read the category from the selected filter. Let's see. Yeah, selected filter, health, and it's going to do an API call, and it's going to fire a search response to search the autocomplete. So let's try that. I didn't try this before. I think I got an error. Selector. There seems that a selector is undefined. Might be one of these ones. Selected filter, autocomplete getter search text. Let's see. Search text. Well, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but that is the idea of the coding examples, to show you a bit how to compile, to create modules and then to reuse them. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is it for now. Now, I don't know, guys, if you have any questions about this last example.
Hey, I
Yeah.
have a question about your example in general, but about your experience. Have you used your library in any medium-sized project, something like that? How has it helped you in day-to-day work?
Yeah, we have I think we have Alex and Nahuel that are both part of the team here. So this library, I really started it like when I started with Lend, that is the client of Whitefront. So the issue that they had with Redux was that they had a huge tree of Reducers, right? So the first thing was how can I divide that tree of Reducers into more atomic modules? And yeah, I came out with this way of creating modules and then plug them. So that was the first issue that we could handle in Lend. And I think then, sorry. Then the framework kept evolving to, once I could divide the huge reducer, then I figured out that was good for code splitting, because these modules were independent and you could grab a module and render it in different contexts, and you were only fetching the code that you wanted. And then I think it evolved into the instances, like this example. Yeah, I figured out that eventually, if I had like these modules, MVC modules, maybe why not? I wanted to render two of them in the same context. Yeah, so it went growing for maybe 1.5 years now, and then it came out into this one, into this framework. I don't know if that answers my question, your question. But yes. Now, yeah, let's go a bit to the second part this is going to be really quick, real quick. So the theoretical part, why and how I do architecture and why and how I did Redux MVC. So first, I always have a goal of productivity, and how I got from this goal to the actual Redux MVC implementation. I'm going to tell you in a few moments, and I'm going to use a method that is chunk up, chunk down, where when you have goals and you want to go to implementations, you ask how, you ask how, and if you have an implementation and you want to go to your high-level goals, you ask why. So how do I get productivity? The first things that come to my mind is I want an architecture that is reusable, modular, composable, scalable, atomic, simple, consistent, and debuggable. And how do I get an architecture that has these characteristics? Well, that's the part that's in my personal experience. I came up with these features that fulfill these goals. And a valid question would be, what would be the minimal set of features that fulfill these goals? These goals are non-negotiable to me. If you present an architecture to me, it should at least do this. But this, that is the applied part, it is negotiable. And maybe if you ask this question, you can come up with a different set of features that are more efficient or more usable, etc. And yeah, this is the part that I encourage you to experiment with a different set of features and tools, so we can evolve the technology and yeah, be more productive and more efficient. So, but these features, yeah, they are not yet an implementation. So I ask, how do I get to, how do I do this? And this is where Redux MVC comes into play. I do it with this set of tools. So global state is done with Redux and Redux MVC. Derived state, Redux MVC selectors, declarative views with React, queries that I didn't do a demo of it, but it would be nice to do it, to have it with GraphQL or DataScript or something similar. Time modeling with sagas or observables or tanks, but I prefer sagas. And the novelty that is modules and instances, I do it with Redux MVC. So yeah, architecture why for productivity and how with Redux MVC. So that was my talk. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Great talk.
Thanks to you.
Thank you, Gonzalo.
Gonzalo.
Great job.
Can I ask one more question regarding more the decision to make it open source and how that went? What's your experience like becoming the publisher of an open source library and the responsibility that comes with it? How was your experience for that?
Well, I'm not an expert in open source. This is my first open source library. Yeah, I think I saw potential on it, and yeah, I like, from now on, I think I will be using this or something like this. As I told you, this part, it's also very personal. Maybe you can come out with some different set of tools, but yeah, I think it's useful, and for sure I would be using it in the future in another projects. I hope that yeah, that it's useful for someone else. But yeah, this is why I saw potential to it.
Gonzalo, I have a question. How
Yeah.
do you, is there a way to use an automatic test to test your functionality, the applications that you created using Redux MVC?
What do you mean with automatic testing?
I don't know. I'm not a React coder, but I made a small project and I wrote some tests to test the component of the UI. Using
Yeah,
this, is there a change? Is there something that you want to mention?
well, if there's something I could mention is that Redux, as it's functional, it's very easy to test with unit testing. If you do also this kind of architecture, where the view is just presentational, then it's also very easy to test. The Redux sagas, it's also it's done in a way that you can test. You can even test effects. So it's done in a functional way. You can unit test your sagas that may be calling an endpoint. It's super easy to mock. But yeah, those are all characteristics of the tools that I choose, right? It doesn't have a lot to do with Redux MVC.
Okay.
Yeah, the answer would be choose tools that are easy to test, and maybe that is a feature, one more feature to put in here, that it's easy to test.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question, Gonzalo?
Sure.
If you have to start from scratch, from zero, what would you like make different?
Well, so this version of Redux MVC, it's different from what we are using in production in LEN. So I already had a lot of experience doing a framework, Redux MVC, in production, and then I saw the API that I did, and before publishing it, I tried to improve it. So that was the way that I did it, and I improved a few things of it right now. So, but I don't know if I would change something, because as I told you, I already had something alive in production, and then I saw what was hard to use, and I improved it. But maybe there's some room of improvement in this version of Redux MVC. Like reducing the boilerplate, for example. These actions and getters are helper functions. That the idea was to reduce boilerplate, but I think we can reduce it even more. Like going back to the original Redux API, something like this. This getter is the autocomplete, something. Doing something like this, and without injecting these actions, maybe you can do something like, yeah, dispatch putting the type, and then this will cut the boilerplate. So that's what I am thinking of improving right now. But yeah, your question is good to think that it's good to play with things before going into before publishing, or it's good to experiment because you can see what are the pain points in there.
Okay, thanks for the answer, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Wonderful talk, Gonzalo. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gonzalo. Thank you for sharing
Bye.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.